Hello and welcome to the Thursday edition of the Locker Room at Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry Ajayi, reporting for sporting duties today. And of course, it promises to be exciting as we talk about the home front, talking about Nigerian football, and also be taking a look at talking about the Merseyside derby alongside the UEFA Champions League action, and a lot to talk about in the ever exciting world of football, all the way from the locker room down to your ears. All right, joining me today are Ikechukwu and Maiwa, who joins us virtually and are ready to break down all the action and share their hot takes on what's going down in the football world. All right, let's get into it. So stay tuned, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. Also, don't forget to call us via the WhatsApp number showing on your screen to join the conversation. It's a conversational program. We also expect you to drop comments as you're watching, and of course, react to anything that you feel definitely you need to air your voice. We'll help you do that as far as locker room is concerned. It's an open session, and of course, Ikechukwu will open the session by first of all introducing himself, and we'll hit the ground running with Maiwa also standing by virtually. Good evening. Good to have you.
Good evening, Jerry.
Are you doing sit down? Because I know normally they say stand-up comedy. You didn't sit down comedy.
It's actually a 2-2 draw. And,
no, you almost lost. Where does almost lost come from?
It was a 2-2 draw. You luckily escaped
we're here
the
to
draw.
do a professional job. Let's not turn it to comedy, please.
Jerry,
you almost lost.
It's 7 points today, and I assure you, by the end of March, we'll be singing a new song. Congratulations
How many
again.
points did Man City used to win the league?
You are now Man City. I told you.
How many points did Man City used to win the league?
You were counting 9 points before this game yesterday. You were expecting that you're going to win that game at the Goodison Park.
That shows you that the league is competitive. How many points?
I mean, the top 5 leagues in Europe is competitive.
No, England. I'm talking about the English Premier League.
How do you even define competitiveness? In the last 7 seasons, in the last 7 seasons, only 2 winners, and you're telling me that's competition.
How many teams? Okay, since Alex Ferguson there, how many teams have won the league in the month of February? How many teams have assurance that they've won the league in the month of February?
Is it about that one? How many leagues you go to now and you look at the league and say, okay, at this point there's a winner?
I'm talking about England. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking.
Nobody's saying the English league is not competitive.
So what are you? Why are you
but
driving
don't try to make it look like it is the most competitive league in Europe. I'm saying that you're not going to win the league.
There was even a season that Arsenal was leading Manchester United by 12 points.
That's Manchester United. We are king of comebacks in England.
King of comebacks. Why are you not coming back for 13th? You have been in 13th position for how long?
It is.
How do you claim bragging rights when you have been in 13th after sacking a manager, after buying lots of players? And you are still in 13th position. Does that spark a team that is coming back from anywhere?
You have to understand. We are going through our very bad.
But you call yourself king.
Yes, I mean it happens. It happens to the best.
You cannot say Man United.
This is our bad.
You can't say Man United.
It happens.
No.
Jerry.
Okay, see. You can't eat your cake and have it.
You asked me to introduce myself and you are attacking me.
You're introducing yourself, but you have gone overboard. Anyway, it's great to also have you. I don't know. Introduce yourself. Now you carry hammer. You carry cutlass. They introduce yourself. You expect them to look at they look you. When you think cutlass comes me, no possible that. I go dodge out or I go resist them. Why? It's great to have you join us on Locker Room.
Well, it's always amazing to be here. A whole lot of Champions League. Ikechukwu, I think his prophecy might be aligning bit by bit.
Okay.
All this under the bridge, prophecy. Please let him keep it in his house. We don't need
that's what you say first. See, if the prophecy will first annoy you,
at the moment,
later it will irritate you, then you accept it.
At the moment, Ikechukwu seems to be right with his prophecy. At the moment, keyword at the moment. It might become at the end of the season or by the end of March, we might have Ikechukwu in our middle and be bantering him. But at the moment, I think Ikechukwu is right with his prophecy.
By the end of February, we'll be singing a new song. I'm telling him now, but I know it's difficult for him to accept. But don't worry, this is 2 games now. I told him the first one that he's going to escape it. The Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, you are out. And now we are discussing the league title. 7 points adrift Arsenal, and trust me, by the end of February, we'll have a conversation. This is 2 weeks from tomorrow. It will be 2 weeks to the end of February, and I'll say, Jerry, how far?
Arsenal will win the league.
But,
Arsenal will win the league.
With which players?
no, but
With which players?
Yeah, which attack?
This question I'll ask you
Which
when it
attack
happens.
now? Because even the next match, I'm not sure Arsenal will see goal. Because who is the striker that's going to score the goal?
Do they need a striker to score a goal?
Oh
Is
my
Havertz? Wait. Can you beat your chest and say Havertz to get you 20 Premier League goals in a season? Arsenal does not have a goal scoring problem. They don't have a goal scoring problem. Yes, in the last 2 seasons, go and check the number of goals they've scored. They don't have a proper number now, and they've been scoring a lot of goals.
And that's why they've
They
not
don't
won
have
the league.
You say?
And why have they not won the league?
Of course, they lost to a team with a superior quality. Today, you cannot boast that you have a superior quality over Arsenal. You can't say that.
Okay.
You can't.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll remind you 2 weeks time.
I think if an Arsenal fan listens to you, he'll be almost convinced that he has won the league. I was almost convinced, but I will not fall for the trap. Arsenal fans, please don't fall for the trap. Oh. This man is a good storyteller. He will deceive you, and before you know, you think you are the American president.
No.
Please, Arsenal doesn't have an attack that will score. See,
They don't have a goal scorer. City have been winning the league without Haaland. They don't have a goal scoring problem. Even Gabriel Jesus, that Arsenal bought.
What are you saying?
Wait now,
What are you saying? Man, please don't even come
No,
there.
no.
Man City, before Haaland came, they had the likes of Julian Alvarez, who was firing on all cylinders.
No, Alvarez came the same. No, the same season with Haaland. No.
Before then, Riyad Mahrez.
Wait
These
now,
are guys who were chunking in double figure.
and there's a Sergio Aguero.
Wait.
Aguero
left.
Sergio Aguero was destroying the league.
Hold on. Aguero left in 2021 after they lost the
more
league.
than 10 goals in a season.
Who?
Yes.
When did he lose?
At his prime.
When did he leave Man City?
Even before Riyad Mahrez came, Riyad Mahrez was scoring double figures. What are you saying?
Wait.
Even Gundogan and Co, all of them were contributing goals. There was a season that at least all of the people at the front of Manchester City were contributing 9, 10, 11, 15 goals. What are you saying?
Wait.
Even before
Haaland
Haaland came, they were doing fine.
2021, Aguero left.
Okay.
2021, Aguero
Yes,
left.
that's true.
Now, between 2021 and 2025, Man City have won the league how many times? 4 times.
Four times, yeah.
Without
4 times in a
Aguero,
row.
and 2 with Haaland. So now the 2 seasons before Haaland came, there was no Haaland, there was no Julian Alvarez. Right. Now these 2
Julian Alvarez was
they came the same time.
No. Julian Alvarez came before.
They came the same time.
No.
Julian Alvarez was never a Man City.
Julian Alvarez came before Haaland.
No.
Not the same season. They didn't join the same
check
season.
now.
I'm going to confirm
They
that.
came the
But
same
anyway,
time.
This is not a Man City show. Let's not take the show back. But we'll get to that segment as far as that one is concerned. Let's talk about the home front, where the Super Eagles of Nigeria will return to action in March when the qualifiers for the 2026 World Cup returns. And of course, Nigeria is still without a win after 4 games and are currently in 5th position, 4 points behind group leaders Rwanda, and they will be looking to improve their position in the group when they take on the Rwanda and Zimbabwe. South Africa, who are joint leaders but second on goal difference, has been picked as the main threat to Nigerians' chances of picking the group's sole ticket, even though they are on the same number of points with third place Benin Republic. Meanwhile, former Germany under-20 defender Kevin Akpoguma, who switched to Nigeria and has picked up 8 senior caps, is of the opinion that no team in the group can stop the Super Eagles from making it to the tournament. On his chances of getting an invitation from new Super Eagles coach Eric Chell, Akpoguma says he has continued working hard for his club, for the coach to hand him a chance. He however said his goal is to be a part of the squad for the 2026 World Cup and also play in it. And of course, for Akpoguma, he's been doing well for Hoffenheim in the German Bundesliga, and I think he deserves a call-up because now it's looking like we're going to be having challenges at the back. But the good news is that it looks like one of our defenders is back. I'm trying to remember the name right now, who plays in the championship. And if all things being equal, is back, but not fully fit because of match time, ahead of match, I think we should also look at Akpoguma because he's been a starter for Hoffenheim.
Yeah, of course, I agree with you 100%. plus the fact that we are going through a defensive crisis at this point. We have the Gen 2 giant, Simi Ajayi, is actually struggling at this point, and Leon is actually aging, with his not being very active of late. So yes, we need someone who's actually playing regularly. And for a manager who is new, I think the very first thing you want to do to rally the Super Eagles is to give people who are actually very active, in Europe or even in Nigerian Professional Football League, a chance to actually come prove themselves and give the ones who are actually playing run for their money. I think the Super Eagles jersey should be a competitive jersey. I think it's been a long time we have a Super Eagles team where we look at the Super Eagles and say, okay, if this one doesn't play, we don't really have anything to play. Fear. The last player in the Super Eagles, or the last players in the Super Eagles that seems very untouchable, that if they are not there, we'll definitely know that somebody is missing. It's JJ and Nwankwo Kanu. But after them, I don't think we've really had, people who, if we look at the number 3, we always have somebody, that's really ready to actually take the jersey, even number 2 and every other part of the Super Eagles setup. So yes, Akpogbo, this is another chance. The problem I have with some of these players is that when they come to the Super Eagles, sometimes they struggle to actually pin down the jersey of the Super Eagles when they get this chance. I just hope he gets his, he gets his day right, and then prove this to the Super Eagles coach, talking about Eric Chell, that he is one man who is ready to actually put on that jersey and bleed for the team.
All right, Maiwa, what do you think about Akpogbo's chances of making it into Eric Chell's team?
Well, I mean, we are in the era of bringing in established players. I think if he's doing well, definitely he deserves an opportunity in the national team. I mean, one of the things that we've consistently said is this: if you are doing well and you are not a bench warmer, and your prospect is bright for Nigeria, why not make the switch? I mean, there's a particular Ademola Lookman, who has been very fantastic for Nigeria. However, I want to share the same reservation as Ikechukwu. Sometimes when these guys come in, they come in with their performance and they deceive us. And after showing up for one or and I hope Eric Chell can build a culture of consistency, a culture of, if you are not doing well, you don't make the team, irrespective of your name, irrespective of the club you are playing for. If you are not doing well in your club, or even if you are not doing well for the national team, you don't make it. I want to take us back to the Super Eagles under Anoni. The Super Eagles at that particular time was so competitive that whether you have a name or not, you have to come into the team and fight for your shirt. There was no permanent shirt in the national team. I hope HL, can be able to set up the same culture for us to be able to have a competitive team. And with that, we always have the best featuring for us. And for us to be able to get the best of results will not be a quadratic equation that we are in at the moment.
All right, I was just talking about Semi Ajayi. There's news that he was an unused substitute for West Brom in the Championship in their 2-0 home defeat to Blackburn Rovers in the Championship last night. Ajayi had been out of action since October with a hamstring injury. Ajayi's return is a welcome development for the Super Eagles coaching crew ahead of next month 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and Zimbabwe. He was very active at the last Nations Cup. He's one man definitely I so much rely on when it comes to playing in the defense position. So if he's available, I think it's a welcome development. And of course, good news to the handlers of the Super Eagles. Maiwa.
We saw how Semi Ajayi was very, very instrumental for us in that particular Nations Cup. Even one of the reasons, why we are where we are at the moment was because, he has not been stable because of injuries and he has not been able to partake in a whole lot of games. And that's the reason why you have some unknown defenders come up. Somebody like Tanimu, in as much as, we know how Tanimu made it to the team. Somebody like Tanimu playing the 2 World Cup qualifiers that, put us in this currentness that we are. He's just coming back from injury. However, if he's able to give a good account of himself, for a West Brom side, and is fit enough to be able to play, then we can use him. However, I want to sound a note of caution. You know, players that have gone out for injury, you can't just rush them back into into playing 90 minutes, so they don't get to aggravate the injury or get injured again. So probably it might not be a starter. We might need to come in the 60, 70 minutes, but he brings a whole lot of experience that will probably help the team because he has been there, he has done it before, and the experience matters at the moment. One of the things we have suffered in the in our defense, apart from the fact that some of them are aging, the new guys that they brought in, they lack the experience. We saw a Gabriel Show feature for Nigeria in the last 2 qualifiers for the Nations Cup, and his performance was below par. So we need somebody like that with a whole lot of experience that can probably help in helping the younger players to be able to settle in case we don't have our established defenders playing in that particular qualifier starting in that qualifier against Rwanda.
All right, and of course, Ikechukwu, it's a good one that he's making a return. But let's talk about Maduka Okoye, where the betting allegations against Nigerian international goalkeeper Maduka Okoye has been termed as baseless by his legal representative. Okoye was arrested alongside 2 others over allegations of giving tips to a friend to place a bet that he will be given a yellow card in the game between Udinese and Lazio in the Serie A. He was yellow carded for time wasting towards the end of the game, with his team leading by a lone goal margin. A sudden spike in betting related to him getting booked rose suspicion among the authorities, who used algorithms to track a friend and another associate of the Nigerian who placed bets on him getting booked. So it seems the lawyer is doing what he's paid for, talking about defending his man. So the investigations will tell us more eventually.
These sort of accusations can be quite difficult to actually pin down. I mean, who knows when a player is going to be booked? Is it because he's a professional player and then his friends decide to stake on him? Automatically, you're just going to...
It's very difficult for that coincidence to just come in.
It's difficult for that coincidence to just come in. But, I mean, if it's actually a case of bet, right? Like, let's say, okay, fine, it actually happens, or he wants to do it. How much is he going to make?
Yeah.
Compared to how much he's receiving weekly.
That's too much of a risk.
Do you understand? Okay. So all of this is...
Don't say that. So if he puts his 1-year salary inside...
Okay, so again, the details of it. How? I mean, we don't know the details of it. We don't know how much of we don't know how much of money was put into this particular...
Maybe the thing is that for the betting company to have traced it, that means it must have been a consistent situation, and the amount they will have to pay out, I mean, could also make them want to investigate how come this person was so confident in putting such amounts. It's just like having to put, like, let's say 20 million on Maduka Okoye alone to get a yellow card, and you are somehow his friend. Definitely the betting company will surely want to know how come you had that confidence. Definitely on a good day you will not put such amount of money. So if that would raise attention. If
a Sergio Ramos friend in his prime decided to play stake on Sergio Ramos getting a red card, we will be having this conversation too. We know how dirty Sergio Ramos was in his prime, right?
Yeah. But what if one day we'll get to find out that those red cards were also deliberate?
See, what I'm saying is this. Because I mean, we also have the case of Lucas Paqueta.
But we know how many games that Sergio Ramos could actually play a lot of games and not get red cards.
But you cannot place a bet that Sergio Ramos will not be booked to the either red or yellow.
But it's also very risky. Very risky.
But you know the chance of Sergio Ramos getting booked in a match is 50-50, or rather 65% in a game.
It's very risky because Maduka Okoye is not known as a goalkeeper to get a yellow card, and we know the odds for a goalkeeper to get a yellow card are high. So there will be need to investigate.
Again, it depends on the game. You might be playing against a tough opponent.
Are you saying that the friend could actually place on Maduka Okoye get a yellow card without...
It's just like me and you sitting
without
here.
It being arranged.
It's just like me and you sitting here.
So are you expecting...
I can just say...
Are you expecting the betting company to sit idly by and notice that something is not really right and not say anything?
I'm not actually saying that, but what I'm saying is that, yes, I mean, their claim is not unfounded, but then I'm not going to pin that on Maduka Okoye because that's his friend who actually... If it was Maduka Okoye that staked that game on its own, and then we can have a conversation. Like me and you here now, I can say, Jerry, okay, you are saying Jerry will come here.
Footballers are not allowed to have betting.
But are their friends allowed?
Their friends are allowed.
Are their friends allowed to stake on them?
All right.
Ikechukwu. Ikechukwu, see, the policy in Europe is very clear. You, your family members, those close to you, are not allowed to bet. And the reason is very simple. The rules are very clear for all footballers. If you are involved in football, anybody close to you should not be found betting. If they are found betting, yes, they might not be doing anything, absurd. However, they can be investigated for some betting pattern. So that's the reason why it's advisable for players. If you are involved in football, your family member and those close to you should not even go close to betting. The reason is this, so that the players don't get compromised. That's the reason why they don't, they've already advised them there's a guideline. Apart from the players not being involved, there's also a guideline for their families not to be involved, because if they are involved and they are found out, it's going to affect the players. So if the person that plays the bet is a very close friend to Okoye and is placing a bet on Okoye, definitely you can say how this is suspicious. And they already have a guideline that already warns them about their family members and friends getting involved in bet. So I mean, as it is, you might be 100% right that Okoye might not have tipped him off. However, the way it's looking, it doesn't look good at all, because I mean it looks fishy. Your personal friend is placing a bet on you as a goalkeeper to get a yellow card, and Okoye is not known to be getting yellow cards in matches. So there's something going on, to be honest with you. I don't think the claim of the lawyer, well, he's a lawyer. I mean, he will not say his client is guilty, and I'm not saying Okoye is guilty, but definitely it looks suspicious.
But Jerry, is it a case of Okoye getting yellow card? So Cristiano Ronaldo's friend, in Cristiano Ronaldo's peak, if he decides to stake on Cristiano Ronaldo getting a hat-trick in a game, and he ends up getting a hat-trick, so Cristiano Ronaldo will be penalized for such incident. Or he decides to stake that Cristiano Ronaldo will get not just a hat-trick in a game, but he will end up winning the Pichichi Award in La Liga. That guy will end up getting, Cristiano Ronaldo will end up facing. Is that what we are saying?
No, the thing is that there are situations that are realistic, which is him getting a hat-trick in a match, which we know that he has to work hard for, and he has the potential to achieve it. But getting a yellow card is deliberately making an offense to get that card, because time wasting looks like a deliberate action, because you could actually avoid it as a goalkeeper, not to get a yellow card. For a player, a defender getting a yellow card because you are involved in tackling, definitely a situation of getting a yellow card are very, very open.
So if I stake on you as a defender, you have to be punished.
No, yes. No.
Why?
If you stake as a defender.
No, if I stake on you as a friend, as a defender, that
yes, there will be no much error, because as a defender, there are opportunities for you to get a yellow card. But for a goalkeeper, come on. It's because you don't have a betting company. You don't understand what is at stake. If, for instance, you've already set your algorithm, there are also investors. There are reasons why these rules are there. They are not there because they just woke up one morning and decided to set those rules. They set those rules to make sure that nobody cheats. You get? For a goalkeeper, the margin of getting a yellow card is very, very slim. But when a goalkeeper gets a yellow card, you now look at the situation. This one was not like he tackled the player or something happened. Time wasting most of the time for goalkeepers are deliberate actions. Go and check the record. Of course, you monitor goalkeepers. Goalkeepers do time wasting just to make sure their team gets advantage. But when it now leads to yellow card, there will be questions that will be asked. And when anybody that is related to you decide to stake on you getting a yellow card, definitely the betting regulators will surely investigate. We want to find out why. Why did this take so much amount of money for a so-called friend to get a yellow card in a match that they were already winning? So there are a lot of things.
If you're already winning a game, that's one reason why you have to even get the card.
So they will investigate normally. It's
the
normal.
condition, if Maduka Okoye had gotten that card because of time delay while they were losing, we can have this conversation that, okay, it does not make any sense.
Okay.
It must have been a tip-top.
The thing is this. The bottom line is this. The way he got the yellow card, was suspicious. And also, this is also a league that has had series of betting scandals. There was one in the early 70s that was so crazy. There was one in the early 80s that was so crazy. There was one in the mid 90s that had a few players. There was one in the early 2000s, in the mid 2000s, that had the likes of some top teams return the league they have won. This is something that has happened. This is something that has plagued that particular league. So definitely they know all these things. There is no way, and that's the reason, and that's one of the reasons why they've laid emphasis on, if you are involved in football, if you are actively involved in football, you or anybody close to you should not be going close to bet at all. And if they must bet, they should go outside where we are playing. I mean, Okoye's friend could have placed his bet in England. He could have placed his bet somewhere else in Germany where Okoye is not playing football. And for him to have placed the bet on his friend to get a yellow card at a particular point, I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't look good. It might be innocent. It might be an innocent mistake, but as it is, it doesn't look good, because this has been happening. It's not a one-off thing. It is something that they are battling with in Italy. Even as this one is going on, before the end of this season, you might even still find some people, getting charged for that. There's a particular Tonali who was banned for 8 months because of the same thing. So, I mean, it doesn't look good for Okoye, and I just hope, for the sake of his career and for the sake of the Super Eagles, he's found not guilty.
All right. We wish him all the best in handling that matter. Let's talk about the 7-time champions. Nigeria will battle it out with tough customers, Egypt, South Africa, and Morocco in the group phase of this year's Under-20 Cup of Nations, scheduled for Cote d'Ivoire, 26th April to the 18th of May 2024. So it's a very, very interesting one. And of course, the coach has been talking tough, saying that they will surely scale it out of that group. But if you ask me, that group definitely looks like a group of death when it comes to an age-grade teams. And of course, talking about the history of both sides, of all the sides involved in that group.
True. Again, you also agree that Nigeria is a very strong house when it comes to A-grade football in Africa, even the world at large. And
but not recently.
Well, not of recent, but at least we have the pedigree there. So it's not going to be a very easy one, yes. But then the Flying Eagles, I think this is our, okay, after the Under-17, this is our strongest, ground or breeding ground when it comes to age-grade football. And I think we're really going to do very well at this stage. It's quite early, it's quite early, but one of the things, this thing you mentioned now, not as it were before, it's as a result of what we've been discussing. Project, no league structure to actually groom these guys through and then bring the best out of them. Many of them as early as 16, 17, they've already jet out for Europe. So we don't really have time to actually assemble our best legs, to actually be very competitive at this stage as we used to be. Again, I don't think Nigeria will not come out of this group. This is a very strong group, true. But then when it comes to African football, I think the only team I see there is Egypt. Okay, perhaps Morocco as well, because South Africa too. It's quite very tough. But there, yes, I'll put my money. I'll put my money on the Flying Eagles, and I want to say.
See, okay, you can't put your money on anybody.
No, Nigeria and Morocco is going to come out. See, you see Egypt, South Africa. I don't think they really have. If it's female football, I can say South Africa is quite strong at this level. But male football, Nigeria and Morocco. Take it somewhere. Just like what I told you, Arsenal is going to win the league. And that's exactly how this group is going to turn out. Nigeria and Morocco will scale through from that group.
All right. Mayowa, yes, Ikechukwu is speaking for the love of patriotism. But if you ask me, I think it's open for everybody, because I'm still yet to see anything as far as this Flying Eagles is concerned to convince me that they will go to the Under-20 AFCON, run over teams like South Africa. Definitely That would be a big ask, but we have to wait and see. But definitely, if you take a look at pedigree, you want to say Nigeria has a chance, but it's not going to be as simple as ABC.
When was the last time we did fantastic, in the U20 tournament? It's been a long while. The last time we did anything that was fantastic was about 20 years ago now, during the times of Mikel. Last time we did anything fantastic. Our eighth grade team has been practically killed by the last NFF president, and that is what we are suffering at the moment. Even our national team is being starved of, players flowing through the rank, going through the rank because of all this. I would have expected, majority of those that will appear for us in the under 20, at least maybe 7, 8 of them probably come from our under 17. However, the question is this: where's our under 17 at the moment? Also, Nikechukwu raised a very valid point. How many of our clubs have an academy that fit? Majority of them do not have, apart from the likes of maybe Red Monster that is trying to do something fantastic, and the likes of Iko to build something up. Majority of our NPFL clubs, they don't have feeders team that can feed them. So, I mean, it's going to be a very difficult group. Morocco, we know what they have done in terms of growing their player. South Africa, they already have a plan. Even the clubs there, they have like a feeder team that feeds, their various clubs. Egypt, because of their set up, they have players, in their players between the age of 18, 20 playing for their local league there. So they pose a very strong team. And that's the reason why, yes, we have a lot of pedigree, but the other teams, they have a whole lot of quality, and we might struggle in that particular group. I will not put money on Nigeria to qualify in that.
Has been reversed following the match against Rivers United on December 22, 2024. The NFF affirmed the fines against Nasser United, but found that the assault on match officials was not proven, allowing the team to rise from 19th to 17th position with 25 points. I don't know how this will look because the NPFL, in their own wisdom, decided to deduct the points, and the NFF now want to supersede the NPFL. I think it used to be the LMC that was making the decisions. I don't know. This is now looking like young pepper scatter as far as running the league is concerned. And any league that runs in this kind of way, I don't know what the plan will look like, because we might have sometimes some club sides who get undue advantage due to their influence in the NFF, getting away with rascality, which will not be entertained in the NPFL. But it is what it is. Boardroom points being returned, and I don't know how it will make our league credible going forward.
This is obviously a case of, telling the league, the LMC or the NPFL board that you don't know what you are doing. I have to sit somewhere in Abuja and then overwrite whatever it is you are doing on the field. So just for example, for people who don't really understand or who don't get the clear picture. So in a class, a student was found to have erred, and the teacher flogged the child. The principal was not there, but then when the case got to the principal's desk and the principal asked the teacher what happened, the teacher said this is what happened, and the class captain also affirmed, which is the match commissioner. The teacher wrote report, the principal wrote report and said this student should be suspended. Then the student, because he has somebody in the Ministry of Education, and then the Minister of Education called the principal and said, yes, you have flogged the child for doing wrong, but then that child should not be suspended. Does it make any sense? How are you going to set a precedent for the right things to be done? Now, the things the NPFL, the NFF fails to understand as regards this is that you are pushing investors away. The rule of law is a very strong metric for investors. When they see a place that is not organized, when they see a place that does not listen to law, that does not follow law, there's no sell.
Last night, Mario, what happened yesterday, Michael Oliver? Last night, Mario, what happened yesterday, Michael Oliver? All right, it seems like the network is.
What happened yesterday, Michael Oliver? He did nothing. I mean, he did what referee do. Sometimes they take decisions and it might not be favorable to you. If you had won that game and Mike Oliver
Yeah, can you hear me?
happened to be on the receiving end.
Okay, my voice is back.
Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So as regards the NPFL, I mean, see, the thing is this: quota system, has rear its ugly head again. We have said it, has rear its ugly head again. We have said it over and over again.
And of course, making sure the program is not delayed. Of course, play the role of a mommy. All right, my name is Jerry. I say thanks for being a part of the show. To meet again, stay safe. I live not to the tall to the sport.